So, Alien, the TV series, we now finally have some new updates, new information. First details, in fact, courtesy of Noah Hawley himself. If you don't know what this is the FX Hulu original TV series thing that Disney has put into production. This was actually pretty much in the works previously to Disney taking control over Fox. There's a lot of rumours and rumblings about it, but now it's actually going into action. We haven't had any updates since the Investor Day when they revealed this and said it would be set in the not too distant future, which seemingly alters the canon for Alien anyway. Oh, we got some new information. We actually have some pretty key information here. It's not like groundbreaking, but it's interesting and we can dissect some of it. So this comes to us courtesy of a Vanity Fair interview. I've only got the answers. It's not important. The questions are not that important, right? But it's his answers that matter. He's not saying anything massively controversial here either, so the questions are actually not that relevant. But I'll leave a link down below if you really want to check it out. Now, he's asked about Fargo and things like that. And then he goes on to what's next. He says, what's next for me, it looks like, is an Alien series for FX, taking on that franchise and those amazing films by Ridley Scott and James Cameron and David Fincher. Those are great monster movies. But they're not just monster movies. They're about humanity trapped between our primordial parasitic past and our artificial intelligence future. Interesting. That's a very, very interesting philosophical outlook on Alien. Not too clear cut whether I agree with that or not. I wouldn't say it's about an artificially intelligence future. Not at all. In fact, I think if you're looking through the lens of Ripley, that's not what that series is about. And the series is told through Ripley's lenses. But either way, I still find that interesting. Not alarming, but interesting. Now he says, and they're both trying to kill us. Here you have human beings, and they can't go forward and they can't go back. So I find that really interesting. So these answers are really, really important because this will be what he's using to move that series into production and how he's going to tell the narrative, basically. Now, he says that he's actually written a couple of scripts, the first two scripts, and apparently they're looking to make them next spring. So they're ready to go. When you get to something with this level of visual effects, there's a lot of preparation that has to go into it. So he's only written first two scripts, and then I presume they're looking to push and make more and more and more, and then start shooting next spring. But he's also saying very clearly that there's a lot of visual effects involved. Which is interesting because I thought that they would go the more practical route, or they'd be doing the sort of LED screens that they've been doing recently for Mandalorian, but apparently not. But anyway, it continues further. It says, what's been really illuminating is to see that the entire film industry had to take a year off, and they are now trying to jam 2 years of production into 1 year. So it's very hard to look on the planet Earth and see where you might make something in the next 6 months. Everyone is racing to make up for lost time. So I figure, let that bubble burst a little bit and we'll do it right. So he's not in a rush. That's fine. Nothing crazy about that. But you're looking to shoot next spring. But he's also hedging his bets on it being delayed as well. Now here we get into sort of story details. Anyway, it says it's not a Ripley story. Well, of course not. It's set in the not too distant future apparently. So no, of course it's not going to be a Ripley story. She's one of the great characters of all time. And I think the story has been told pretty perfectly. And I don't want to mess with it, Jasper Cameo. It's a story that's set on Earth also. What? So it is set on Earth then. Okay. So we are going to break Alien canon. We're going to break Alien lore as we know it now. Even the prequels weren't set in the not too distant future. It was not the right timeline. So they are breaking with canon. Not necessarily a bad thing. We'll see what the direction is, but still interesting nonetheless. Now he says that the alien stories are always trapped in a prison, trapped in a spaceship. I thought it would be interesting to open it up a little bit so that the stakes of what happens if you can't contain it are more immediate. So it does sound like it is actually set on Earth. Okay. Interesting. Actually interesting. We're going somewhere with it now. I don't know whether I think that's a good idea or a bad idea. Because ultimately, are they actually going to destroy planet Earth in the series? Probably not. So are there real risks in tension? Probably not. But still, fascinating nonetheless, actually setting it on Earth. I get the logic, stakes are higher, so on and so forth. I get it. Now he also says further, and this is where he starts to lose me a little bit. On some level, it's also a story about inequality, you know? One of the things that I love about the first movie is how 70s a movie it is. And how it's really this blue-collar space trucker world in which Yaphet Kotto and Harry Dean Stanton are basically waiting for Godot. They're like Samuel Beckett characters, ordered to go to a place by a faceless, nameless corporation. I agree. You know, we know that they are space truckers, that's basically the point of it. The second movie is such an 80s movie, but it's still about grunts. Paul Reiser is middle management at best, so it's the story of the people you send to do the dirty work. Maybe. Again, I'm not necessarily agreeing that it is about stories of people going in to do the dirty work. I mean, wouldn't say that about Wayland in Prometheus, would you? But, you know, whatever. Now, he also says this. In mine, you're also going to see the people who are sending them. So, like Prometheus, then, you mean? Come on. You're not breaking new ground here, Noah, mate. So you will see what happens when the inequality we're struggling with now isn't resolved. The inequality we're struggling with now. And this is where he starts to lose me. What are you talking about? If we as a society can't figure out how to prop each other up and spread the wealth, then what's going to happen to us? That's bizarre communist speak. That's very strange socialist rhetoric to have throwing into an Alien series. I'm not going to lie, that's odd. Alright, that's quite strange. I don't understand that. It shouldn't be coming into an Alien series, socialist rhetoric, but okay. I will wait with bated breath to see how this turns out, but that's odd. But it also is not him saying that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be a utopian society. He's literally saying, if we as a society can't figure out how to prop each other up, spread the wealth, then what's going to happen to us? So basically saying, I want to tell a cautionary tale. So he is basically saying, I have socialist beliefs. You can sort of say that from this statement here. Here's my story of what happens if you don't adopt socialist beliefs. I guess. Inject Alien in there as well. Somewhere. And he says, there's that great Sigourney Weaver line to Paul Reiser where she says, I don't know which species is worse. At least they don't fuck each other over for a percentage. Yeah, I mean, it's all pretty iconic. So look, first two scripts are done. They're going to shoot next spring, hopefully, and then we're going to get it soon. Weird socialist rhetoric, weird commentary about inequalities, and talking about middle management versus grunts, so on and so forth. But there we go, that's our first actual details. Nothing else. What do you guys think? I don't know what to make of it yet. Some of this does actually line up to what they're doing with Marvel Aliens comic, though, which is alarming, because that's crap. But let me know what you think. Cheers. Take care.